I think it's the script writers who are having them mimic me, and they don't even have a clue because all they're doing is reading what they're provided. I've got Ryan Christian on in the background. He was on Slow News Day. You could see that he was reading from a script. So that'll be running in the background. Now I want to share some audio of them mimicking me. Steve Poikonen is probably the most obvious, in my opinion, that he's reading from a script. He doesn't even try to hide it. Glory Jones is the most unaware that she's given away the shop within her glasses. Jimmy Jean hasn't been around for quite a bit. I mean, Petey, Donkeytale, he hasn't been around. First, I'm jumping ahead. Here's some audio of them mimicking me. They're supplied scripts, so this isn't them being personal. I had pointed out quite a while back that Poikonen does a hide behind the microphone shtick on edit. Poikonen tries to hide it. I didn't speak too clearly. He was trying to hide it behind the microphone, but he can't hide it due to the eyes. That's what I meant, and it came out wrong. Sorry about that. End of edit. So now this is from today. This is Jardula saying the same exact thing.
It even says Boca Raton.
I'm in Boca Raton, man.
Yeah.
Don't hate. I'm doing the hide behind the microphone thing.
I'm not downloading that. If you could see Poikonen's reaction, he had no clue what it meant, or he did, but he's like, that couldn't possibly be about myself. That's my guess. I got a second time where, it's from the other day, I think, maybe yesterday. There's been a separation obviously made between Jardula and Fiorella. Jardula has some type of nasty cold sores. I searched internet for drug addiction cold sores. Some information popped up, predictably, I suppose. I actually have the clip, this other part. I had this shtick where I'm talking about a grammar show. I want to make a grammar humor show. So these guys start talking up grammar in a sort of an attempt at a funny way.
Do you remember voting on that pasta? Questions becoming treason in the land of the free, the home of the brave?
No, but I did understand when Sandy said that words can be violent. It resonated with me.
Huh.
I once got my ass kicked by a noun, and it was not good.
Adverbs be swarming in packs.
But you got to be careful. An adjective was screaming at me walking across the street the other day.
So that's the kind of junk I was talking about the other day when I said they're mimicking me. I don't think they are personally mimicking me. They are employees. They're busted. They can't do anything to prevent being exposed. They are exposed. Period. It's like Julian Assange exposed. Chelsea Manning exposed. Snowden exposed. You can't unsee sort of thing. You can't put the toothpaste, can't put the glue back into the tube. There's just one other thing I wanted to point out, and it's another audio example. Just watching Fault Lines. They had a guest on. I took a quick listen to him. I want to compare his voice. I'll get his name. I think it's Maloof. He's apparently some sort of ex-Pentagon, one of those ex-spooks. He's sounding just like the epic Journeyman dude who does shows with Donkeytale, Peter Richard Mormon, a.k.a. Jimmy Jean, into the microcosm, who worked with Poikonen. So we'll take a listen to that.
Why is there a NATO?
He's reading. Why?
I don't think...
Before it was to fight the...
But I mean now.
Shut up
now,
so we can
is
hear
there a NATO
epic
now?
Journeyman.
Well, there's more people in it now than ever. I mean, all the former Soviet Warsaw Pact states that came in. That's what.
So
that's
this
what
Maloof
Putin's pissed
from
about, right?
Sputnik.
It's getting
From
there somewhere.
Russia
Putin's
Today.
pissed. But Poland and all these others going in there. So he invaded Georgia. He took Crimea from Ukraine, and he wants us to roll back to the 1992 borders. So he's asking for him not to
That
go
should be
into
enough.
Ukraine, basically. That's the
But
premise.
isn't Crimea
Donkeytale talking over him. His
This
eyes
whole-
were
remember
going
that 888
sideways,
thing that
horizontal.
There was that 888 chain thing. There's this whole
Yeah, I busted up this
scuffle
racket.
was
They're
going on
reading
in Crimea,
scripts.
and they were saying that Russia was trying to take Crimea, and the people in Crimea said they wanted to be part of Russia. Then all of a sudden, that whole
So now let's listen to Maloof. Okay, here he is. It's Michael Maloof. He looks like he's a retired military guy. Let's listen to him. See if he's just like the other guy. And I bet a caller, Tarif. I bet if one has watched a Tarif guy on another show, they'll figure it out. They had Misty Winston call in. He was faking as a Marie from Georgia. And that was right around the time, right after that, Shane quit because I freaked him out. My activities have forced them to completely try to clutter up the table, do this and this, that with the table, maybe this and this too.
You're going to see Europe fracture as a consequence because they no longer trust the United States in terms of its any of its commitments. And if its companies have been sanctioned as a consequence of dealing with Russia and dealing with Iran, then they're going to look elsewhere for markets because they are fundamentally exporting nations. They're going to need those markets, particularly in China, India.
There's at least a similarity.
Iran in the future, and that's where I think
It's got the
things are
same
going to pivot.
tinny pitch.
And the United States is going to be basically isolating itself.
Yeah,
So,
I think
Michael,
that's
when-
the same
When
guy.
do you see North Korea coming
I'll
to
shut
the
up
table,
when he
and
starts
what
talking.
has to happen with the U.S.
That's the
on the
new
world
guy
stage,
who
not
replaced
concerning North Korea, to
Stranahan.
then get to talks with North Korea?
I don't see it in the very near future. I don't think the United States has a plan for dealing with North Korea, and they for some reason they feel that it's necessary to keep up the agitation against North Korea, to keep the hammer down, hoping maybe the regime will collapse or something. But it's just not going to happen. We don't see that happening, and even
That seemed to be enough. Maybe we need more of the other guy again.
the scuffle went away. And then later on, a few years later, you saw
Might
this whole
fast
thing
forward
start to
and
develop
edit.
out of Ukraine with the revolution.
That's espionage central over there, because Ukraine had former Soviet Union oligarchs, still oligarchs over in Ukraine, and they're in Russia too, obviously, Eastern Europe.
That's
and they're
Aftermath
super
FM.
powerful. They're like they're kingmakers. They're multi-billionaires to beat. So it's my opinion that a lot of the stuff we see in our politics today is people being bought off. I mean, what's $1 billion going to buy you, Lindsey Graham? You know what I mean? Or whoever, name one, right? So I mean, it's quite possible that's what the influence we have is. But we used to be united
And
against
some of the internal cadences.
Scare. So we unite
Some of the way he
Americans
trills
against
it.
the Red Scare. But there is no Red Scare. And the terrorists weren't scary enough. I mean,
Okay.
after a couple buildings went down,
How he goes up a
people
little
fight
bit,
couple
too.
guys wearing turbans or whatever for so long before it's like, what are we doing?
Well, here's the thing.
$50 billion for it.
I'm putting them on pause. This is Michael Maloof.
and even our allies in the region are telling us to chill and to come to some arrangement. I think the path that Trump was undertaking with North Korea was leading more towards something, but then you still have the fundamental problem of defining what you mean by a nuclear-free peninsula. Right.
Okay, that should about do it. I think my scoop right here on how they're all rigged and scripted, I think this is up there with, I don't know, other stuff that's been from history. It's funny. It's a funny situation. They're on tilt. I don't even have to do anything anymore. I'm like a 7-foot center, Bill Russell, whomever, and they're not even going to try to score because they know I'll block the shot. So it's that type of situation. I don't even have to do anything. Maybe it's a situation where you put like a dummy into the bed and make it seem like you fell asleep and then you sneak out the window, or maybe that's the analogy. Maybe next video I'll come prepared with analogies. I'm not rigged. That's the difference. I'm not a paid fake. I'm not a military entrapment officer. Is that the phrase? Military entrapment officers? I'm just doing what they've taught me to do with the neurolinguistic programming. I'm reversing it. It's like they're doing all these psyops at us. It's like it's bound. Oops, I bumped into a lamp. No damage though, because I'm a gentle sort. So like, what they're doing is they're throwing the stuff, and I got a shield up, and it's reversed. It boomerangs back onto them. This is on them. This is their mental anguish. This is their situation. This has nothing to do with any of us. This has nothing to do with any of us. Get that through your heads. Marshall McLuhan, they hated Marshall McLuhan. Ask yourselves why they hated him. Why they were so off-put by him. Others were put off by Krishnamurti. They couldn't believe it. They didn't want to believe it. But it was the truth. This has been a special update from the Tokyo Shemp News and Entertainment Network. We now return to regularly scheduled, not making a show, not talking into the Audacity, not singing, not downloading any of their nonsense, not thinking about them. Just that's that. I did it, and now it's done. It's done. It's ready to move on. Time.